Hey, James Sheet here with Tarpley Music in Fort Worth, Texas. But remember, you can always find us online at tarpleymusic.com. Today we have David from Dobbs Stanford, who is our Sennheiser rep, and he's actually going to talk about some really cool microphones that are based for cameras.
Great. So you may or may not be familiar with the new technology that Sennheiser brought out last year, which was called Evolution Wireless Digital. And this was a complete game changer in the world of wireless microphones because it gave us an affordable digital system that solved a lot of the problems that old microphones, wireless microphones, had in the past. For example, we've probably all had to deal with the fact that wireless microphones had a very limited dynamic range that they could transmit. That's why a lot of people had to adjust sensitivity, and you get frustrated because it wouldn't pick up soft sounds and loud sounds.
Yeah.
We developed a way to do it where the dynamic range is 5 times what it used to be. So that means without any adjustments at all with your transmitter, you can pick up a whisper or not overload if you go into a scream. In fact, on the body packs and on the handheld transmitters, there's not even that old mic line switch that there used to be.
Yeah.
For camera people, what that means is you're not worried about getting the camera microphone adjusted right to try to pick up the audio that you're trying to pick up. The second thing this technology did is it eliminated a lot of the headaches of just how radio frequencies worked. If you ever heard the words banks and groups and channels and it was a nightmare to figure out your frequencies, that's all gone because we don't interfere with each other like we used to, so we can get a lot easier setup, a lot faster setup. In fact, you can do everything off the front of the unit, or we even have an app to make it super easy to set it up over Bluetooth.
Of course, there's an app.
But let's get to the heart of it. The latest release is all centered around this receiver. And before I turn it on, let me show you some ways that you can power it, because that's even kind of innovative. We pop these little doors open on the side, and we can release our lithium-ion rechargeable battery. This gives you about 7 hours of battery life on the receiver, 12 hours on the transmitter. But you'll notice you can also run AA's in there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we can run AA's or rechargeable without any kind of adapter device.
You're in a pinch and you don't have any power.
Once you put it in, you're good. And by the way, you could also power it USB-C. So we got a lot of ways that we can power the receiver. Also on the side of the receiver, you'll notice we have a headphone out and we have a mic out. So this is nice. So if you're using it with a camera and you want to have some headphones on and to monitor what's going on, what you're hearing, you can.
Great.
We also ship with cables, your traditional cable like you'd have to go to your camera that we just plug into the mic out and then into your camera. Okay. But we also ship with an XLR that comes in the system, so you can go directly to a balanced out of the same thing.
Nice.
When they were doing the research on this product, one of the things they heard from camera operators over and over and over again is it's all about the mounting system. And so they developed what we affectionately call a cheese plate. So this cheese plate can be mounted to your camera a number of ways. We can go right onto the shoe if we want to, in which case now we're onto the shoe, or we can take the shoe off and just do a screw setting on it. Okay. But here's where it gets cool. See these magnets?
Yes.
This receiver attaches magnetically to your camera. We can also stack multiple receivers magnetically if we want to. Now, it's not coming off there. It's on there. You got to really work to get it off. But when you want to put your camera back in your bag, or you need to move your receiver, you can just pull it off. You can also pull the cheese plate off if you want to, and you're ready to go. Now, it ships with a belt clip for your cheese plate as well.
Okay.
So maybe you just want the receiver onto a strap, or you want it someplace else where you can easily see it. Okay. So now that we have that part set up, let's turn the receiver on. And what you'll see right away, receiver comes up. It's got a really easy to read display, and you'll notice that the battery first comes up and says 92%, but as soon as it starts to gauge how the battery is really being used, what you're going to notice is it's going to tell us in hours and minutes how much battery life you have both on the receiver and on the transmitter. That way you're not guessing what do we have left to go. The other thing about this system, recently with camera systems, it's kind of gotten to be one of those things where it's turn it on and it works, especially the 2.4 gig systems. Most of the camera people I know like to control what's going on. If you told them all they had was a point-and-shoot camera,
we got some of them,
they'd be offended, right? Not to say that they're control freaks, but they want to adjust the light and the exposure and depth of field, and that's what the art is, right? Yeah. So I couldn't imagine using a wireless that you turn on, it either works or it doesn't work, because when it doesn't work, you're in trouble. What's nice about this system is it's not 2.4 gig, it's UHF. Okay. What's nice about this system is it is very easy to set up, plug and play, find a frequency, and work. However, if you have to override an auto scan, you can set the frequencies as you need to and have control of it. And then speaking of control, on the display, we can see, like I said, you've got your battery life, you've got your mic level coming in. But if you hit the set button, it shows you your windows. So you've got your input gain, your output level, your headphone volume level. You can override the mute switch. So if we've ever had talent that won't take the mute switch off, you can tell it to ignore the mute switch. This is where you do your auto scan for frequency setup, and it shows you your channel frequency, the brightness of the display, and then reset. That's it. Super, super easy setup, but very, very powerful. Speaking of power, the transmitters and receivers are capable of transmitting on different bands. Each band is 56 megahertz wide. That doesn't mean a lot, except with our technology, if I had an open 56 megahertz, I could do up to 90 of these systems on the same band. So that's the overview of the Evolution Wireless Digital Portable Unit. Couple more words on the accessories. This is the rechargeable setup for the lithium-ion battery. It can be USB-C powered, or it comes with an adapter. You can recharge a couple batteries, about 80% 1 hour, full charge in 2 hours, and very, very affordable, of course, from Tarpley Music. There you go, EWDP. The last thing to tell you about this, not shipping quite yet, but my most exciting part of this summer is the new plug-in. So the plug-in is a transmitter that's designed to plug into the bottom of your favorite microphone. So let's say you don't want to use this microphone. You've got a condenser mic that you like to use, or heaven forbid, another manufacturer behind Sennheiser. You can plug this in and it provides a full 48-volt phantom power. The reason that's important, if you needed to power a shotgun mic on a boom, you can power a real shotgun mic, like a Sennheiser, a Neumann shotgun mic, off of this, and it'll provide the phantom power, your favorite condenser mic. But if you notice at the bottom of this, there's also a regular plug-in like you would use on a belt pack for a lav or a headset. Because you can put it in your pocket and put a headset or a lav on it if you don't want to plug it into the bottom of a mic. And then finally, there's a micro SD card slot in the bottom which will record everything that the transmitter gets. So that way, if you're doing an interview with somebody and for some reason you do have an issue with the audio or you want to review it, it's recorded on a micro SD card. That'll be shipping later on this summer.
Wow.
The last thing to talk about on this, and I think what's most exciting, is the entire Sennheiser digital family, whether it's Evolution Wireless Digital, the EWDX, the upper end, with Dante and network, the EWD, which is very common, no Dante, no network, but less expensive, or EWDP, it all works together. So if you decide for some reason, this is a great example, let's say I'm a guitar player, and I want a really nice little battery-powered receiver that I can put on a magnetic plate on my pedal board.
Right.
There's my receiver. And I could power it off of a body pack into my guitar and not have the typical compression wireless has on guitars because of that huge dynamic range we have. Anyway, lots of stuff. I hope it's helpful to you. And there's the product.
Well, it's amazing because of how huge video is becoming of all these YouTubers and all these things, where a lot of those guys are kind of doing it on their own. And so it's not everyone can afford the sound guy walking around, with the thing and stuff like that. So it's pretty amazing products to look at, especially if that's something that you're doing. We'll figure out how to get a couple in here, I'm sure, eventually.
I think you have some already on the way.
Okay, cool. I meant for us, not to sell. Come on now.
Well, what I really like about this is it's a really nice balance between a wireless that's professional, pristine audio, super easy to set up, but not so complicated or so expensive that you're way down that path.
Right. Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
a really, really great place to be.
Well, as more people are jumping into that, they need, in layman's terms, a lot of time what they're trying to do.
Right.
And so, anyway, awesome products. We appreciate Dave coming out and hanging out with us and taking advantage of our studio and helping us out with some great products. And of course, you can always find them right here at Tarpley. And if you like this video, you should hit like, because that helps us. And then if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you need to subscribe to the channel. It's a little button. Did you know?
No, I didn't.
Just push a button.
Just push a button.
And you're there. It's
like
easy.
This, like power.
Like
push a button.
You can absolutely do it. And then you're subscribed. And then if you turn on notifications, you can see all our videos as they come up, as we have weekly videos. And we'll see you on the next one.